right there.
Hey Tactical Rifleman Nation, before we get into the video, I want to just take a minute to thank some of the companies that support our channel. Without them, we couldn't bring you guys these great videos every week. This week, I want to thank USCCA. Join USCCA to gain education, training, preparation for what happens before, during, and after that act of self-defense. So become the prepared protector that you need to be with a USCCA membership. USCCA, we appreciate you.
Morning, guys. We're at Tactical Rifleman's range. What we're going to go over today is tactical shotguns, stuff to defend yourself in your home. Several things that we're going to cover. I'll show you these different shotguns I've laid out here. The other thing is you're going to see what the patterns do from the 12, the 20, and the 410. And then what we're going to film is my daughter will shoot, and then I will shoot, and you will be able to see the difference between the recoil management between a male and a female going from a 12 gauge to 20 gauge, from pump to semi-automatic. And you'll be able to see the difference between the recoil from each weapon. On this side is the Remington 870 pump. This is set up for combat use. This is the hunting 870 12 gauge. This is the Mossberg 930 semi-automatic. This is the 870 20 gauge Remington. This is a Beretta 20 gauge. This is a double barrel, double trigger 20 gauge. And this is the Mossberg Shockwave 410. Now we're gonna shoot all these so that you can see what they do, while the recoil management, what the pattern looks like. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my daughter shoot the 12 gauge and the 20 gauge on each in one target. I will shoot the 410 because she's not familiar with it at all. And we're going to look at, I'll bring the targets back up and you can see what the pattern looks like. This right behind me is the distance from here to there in your house. I've measured different houses, went in, and that's about the range, which is 15 feet. That's about where you're going to be when you shoot somebody in your house. So that's why I set this up this way, so you could see what happens. Now we're shooting the balloons, but in reality what you want to shoot is to the groin, all right? It has two effects. This is where your body holds your body weight up. It's devastating hitting here. If it's a male or even a female and a shotgun's pointing it at that area, they're pretty much going to want to do what you want them to do, okay? And you just may want to hold them for the police to come. Threat! Slide back, lay it down. Now next, what she's going to do is the home defense. That's the youth model 870 20 gauge. Threat! Now I'm going to do the 410 because she's unfamiliar with this shotgun. All right, guys, what I'm going to do is show you each one of these patterns. This is the 410. This is bird shot. Now, the only reason I use the bird shot is so you could see what it actually does. But on the 410, they make home defense rounds. Shoots a 40 caliber slug and then 2 pellets behind it. That's what I recommend for the 410. But you can see the pattern here, how light it is. You don't see an actual hole blown in it like you will on these other ones. That's what happens with that short barrel 410. So it's not that effective, okay? But if that's all you had and you had that short barrel, I would go with a home defense round, not bird shot. All right, guys? Next is a 20 gauge. Look at that hole, all right? That's in my groin area. That's at the distance you're going to be shooting. You don't see a whole bunch of pattern, a little bit of pellets here, but look at the side of that hole slamming into that guy. What is that, 1.25 ounces? All right, something like that, or 1 ounce, something like that, slamming into a human body. He can't take that, all right? You're gonna knock the bejeebers out of him. The next one is a 12 gauge. Now look at the size of that hole. Look how big that is. A little bit of bird shot around here, but look at the size of that hole. Nobody is going to eat that shot in the groin inside your house. Now, the advantage of that is on the 12 and the 20 is that you haven't blown through both drywalls and killed anybody on the other side. And even if it hits a window, it's not going to kill anybody on the outside. The intended target inside your house, although, is not going to do so well. Front! Front! Go. That was showing you the difference between the pumps, the 12 gauge and the 20. Now we're going to do semi-automatic shotguns and show you the difference in the recoil on semi-automatic 12 gauge, semi-automatic 20 gauge. Front! Front! All right, guys, next thing we're going to do, we're going to reload, put the targets up, and then I'm going to shoot it with a semi-automatic 12 gauge, semi-automatic 20 gauge. You can see the difference in the recoil management. I tried to pump that puppy. You got to remember when you're switching from one gun to the other. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I tried to pump that puppy. Remember which gun you're shooting, going from one to the other. This is my baby that I use, and I'll give you a demonstration later why I like the semi-automatics. But if you guys caught that, that was me. I tried to pump it. All right, next is the semi-automatic 20 gauge, and hopefully I don't pump it. That's what happens when you don't try to pump it. What I showed you is the difference between the recoil from the pumps to the semi-automatics to the double barrel shotguns. But I failed to mention, the reason I have my daughter here shooting is I wanted you to see the difference in the recoil on female versus male, all right? These are perfect weapons for women to defend themselves in their home. So you need to see what you've got to deal with. So that's why I brought her out here, so you could see that she can handle a 12 gauge, but I recommend 20 gauges are easier for the females to shoot. But you don't have to do that. You saw her shoot it. So you got to see the difference between how it recoils on me and how it recoils on her. And she didn't miss her targets with a 12 gauge pump, and she didn't miss them with a semi-automatic 12 gauge. So you can do either one, but that's why I brought her out here. Now, one other thing I'm going to show you. As far as reliability of a shotgun, if you see this, it has two triggers. This is a 20 gauge. The advantage of that is you only get 2 shots, but if something happens, you have 2 separate triggers. So you're gonna have one of them fire, unless God doesn't want you around, all right? The other ones all rely on a single trigger, so if something goes wrong, the whole gun is down. That is one of the advantages of the double barrel with 2 triggers, okay? If you want, I can go ahead and just shoot it and show you what the recoil looks like on it. I'll just shoot it out forward so you can see that. But I'm not gonna shoot the targets. But you only get 2 shots, guys, but they're positive. All right, you can see what that is. You don't have any significant recoil management as you do on the semi-automatic. It's being taken up in the action. You get every bit of recoil this has because it's in line with you, all right? But you got 2 different triggers, and you saw how fast I can shoot that. Gentlemen, when you put your guns away, make sure they're unloaded and make sure all the triggers are forward. All metal fatigues, you leave them cocked, and one of these days you're going to go to use it and it's not going to fire. Do not leave your guns with it being cocked. Even if you have rounds, like if I have this, I'm going to use this for home defense, I got rounds in the tubes and nothing in the chamber. I'll have to cock it. I don't want it to fail because the trigger spring got weak and will no longer hit the primer and set it off. All right, guys? That's it for this. We're done. You guys have a great day. See you on the ground.
If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so you don't miss out on anything.